David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. My first takeaway from this fight, I never, ever want to see Kenny Bayless officiate a boxing match again. I never want to see it again. He's on Joe Cortez level of notorious, infamous. Just terrible referee, man. He ruined this fight 110%. Now, the right man won. David Benavidez, he couldn't get the knockout because he was essentially fighting two guys in that ring. Caleb Plant was just grabbing and holding him all night. And the referee never once threatened to take a point away for the excessive clinching. Clinching is in fact illegal in boxing. Grabbing on and holding if it's intentional. There's incidental clinching and intentional clinching. And Caleb Plant was blatantly hugging this man. I thought I was watching a wrestling match at one point in the fight. I'm like, this looks more like a wrestling match than a boxing match. This dude is just grabbing on, trying to grapple. Like, bro, you should go do a tryout for AEW, bro. Or WWE. The referee never once threatened to take a point away for the consistent clinching and grabbing on the part of Caleb Plant. And I respect Caleb Plant. And listen, I get it, man. He's in there with somebody he's a dangerous man. This David Benavidez kid. He is a dangerous man. That man bad. That man is bad. He is dangerous. So I can't really fault Plant. But me as a viewer, though, it made the fight terrible, man. It was insufferable. And, there's no doubt in my mind that if it wasn't for Kenny Bayless, David Benavidez would have knocked out Caleb Plant. And he almost did in one part of the fight. I don't remember what round it is. When David Benavidez was coming on strong, Caleb Plant was beginning to fold. And then Kenny Bayless inexplicably stopped the action so that he can have the doctors take a look at Caleb Plant. Oh man. There might have been a clash of heads or something along those lines, but you don't ever stop the action like that. This man was about to be out. He was about to be out. And Kenny Bayless stopped the action, put a timeout to have the doctors take a look at Caleb Plant. Absolutely disgusting. I've never seen something like that before. In all the years that I've been watching fights, I've been a boxing fan since I was a little kid. When my parents ordered that De La Hoya Julio Cesar Chavez pay-per-view. That was the biggest pay-per-view of all time for us in our community. You feel me? That was our Rumble in the Jungle. That was our Thriller in Manila. When we saw De La Hoya Chavez, those fights, I've been a boxing fan ever since. So that's like 1999, dog. Like, that's like the late 90s. I've been watching boxing. And I have never seen a referee stop the action when a guy looks like he's about to get knocked out. Like, stop it. Like, hey, wait, time out. And have the doctor look at Caleb Plant. That was despicable. I couldn't believe that. And there is no doubt in my mind that David Benavidez would have knocked his ass out if it wasn't for Kenny Bayless. And I'm not just talking about that moment either, but I'm talking about if there was actually a competent, just referee who was saying, hey, if you keep holding, I'm going to take a point away. If you hold one more time, I'm going to take a point away. That would have propelled the fight to be a fight and not a grappling contest. Because if a referee is threatening you to take some points off and you're relying on the point system because you know you can't knock this man out, there would have been a fight. And David would have knocked his ass out. But that didn't happen. So my prediction didn't come to fruition. But with that said, all you got to do is look at Caleb Plant's face at the end of the night. And you know what? I'm happy that they squashed the beef. I'm happy they were able to squash the beef and bury the hatchet. You've seen them hug at the end of the fight, even though Benavidez had like some unnecessary hostility towards Plant, you know, him and his pops in particular, but they were able to bury the hatchet at the end of the fight. So I'm happy to see that. That's what you want to see in boxing. You know what I mean? You don't want to see people have low class, man. That's what you want to see. So you love to see it. And it remains to be seen what happens in the future for Benavidez and Plant. Obviously, David's been calling out Canelo. And he's been calling out Canelo for ages now. And Canelo's excuse for not fighting David Benavidez was always, oh, well, you need to prove to me that you deserve a fight. I'm not going to just give him a fight just because he's asking for it. He's got to beat somebody. Well, here we are. David whooped on Plant. And, you know, there's a lot of opinions running rampant that, hey, you know, Canelo knocked out Caleb Plant. And David Benavidez got a unanimous decision over Caleb Plant. But I'm going to tell you something right now. And I'm not even going to mention the stupid-ass referee again. I'm done with him. Kenny Bayless is irrelevant. Fuck that guy. I'm not even going to mention him again. I'm going to tell you this. Go back and watch Caleb Plant versus Canelo. And I want you to see Caleb Plant's face after the Canelo fight. And compare that picture to Caleb Plant's face after the Benavidez fight. And what you're going to see, you're going to see somebody who got busted the fuck up after the David Benavidez fight. You know, Canelo, you know, he broke Caleb Plant down. And yeah, he knocked him out, hit him in the body. But Caleb Plant's face wasn't marked up. Nowhere near the way it was for David Benavidez. So the point that I'm making, what I'm getting at, is that yes, Canelo knocked out Caleb Plant and David Benavidez did not. He got a decision win. But I promise you, I would be willing to bet you my entire bank balance right now that Caleb Plant, he got hurt. He got hurt worse from the David fight than he did from the Canelo fight. I promise you. Because he looked more fucked up. He was all busted up. His eye was closed. I mean, he just looked all jacked up. And the Canelo fight, he was relatively unscathed, bro. I mean, he was marked up, but not like the way he was after the Benavidez bout. I don't know. I would have to see a side-by-side comparison on his corpse after the Benavidez fight versus after the Canelo fight. Now, does that mean that I'm trying to say that David Benavidez would beat Canelo? That's something that I've been thinking about, and I can't make up my mind, honestly, on who would win a potential showdown between Benavidez and Canelo. I cannot make up my mind. I really can't. Because I could see a bunch of different scenarios playing out. You know, it's like how Caleb Plant was outboxing Canelo and David Benavidez in the early portion of the fight. And Benavidez would get ever so closer after each round progressed. The question is, will Benavidez get ever so closer to Canelo as the rounds progress? It's pertinent to note that Canelo has always struggled with stamina. That's been a hindrance to Canelo, and he's gotten better with that. He's gotten a lot better in that department. But a fighter like David Benavidez, he's exhausting. He's exhausting, man. And over the course of a 12-round fight, do I think Canelo could fend off a David Benavidez? I think only if he makes a concerted effort to assault that body. But giving a man of Benavidez' stature and ferociousness body shots is a threat. It's a risk. It's a big risk because you leave yourself open to those tremendous uppercuts that man throws better than anybody else in the game right now. So I'm not even gonna give my opinion on who would win a Canelo versus Benavidez fight. Until that fight is actually made official, you're not gonna hear an opinion from me, because I gotta go to work. I gotta study these guys' styles and really to pick a winner, man. Because you know that Benavidez Plant fight, it kind of left more questions than answers. You know, because he didn't get the knockout. Now, granted, Kenny Bayless bitch ass, he really fuck, man, he was insufferable, man. He really fucked up the fight. He really did. But with that said, it is what it is. Benavidez, in spite of Kenny Bayless, still couldn't knock out Plant, and it leaves a lot more questions than answers as far as a potential Benavidez Canelo showdown. Now, Canelo has a fight going down in May in Mexico, in Guadalajara, his home turf, his neck of the woods, against John Ryder. And it's a fight that does not interest me at all. This is merely a stay busy bout for Canelo. It's a tune-up. And perhaps this is Canelo's tune-up before David Benavidez. That fight would go down in September. Now, Canelo personally wants that rematch against Bivol, Dimitri Bivol. Bro, sit down, bro. You cannot beat Bivol. You cannot win. The guy is bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you, and he's a better boxer than you, bro. He outclasses you in every department, including skill level. You can't win. It sounds like a Rocky movie right now. You can't win, dog. Canelo wants to fight Bivol, but I have a hunch that Bivol is going to turn it down, because he already has. He's been saying, hey, I already beat Canelo. If he wants to fight me, he has to prove to me now. Now he's saying what Canelo's been saying about David Benavidez. Hey, I think Bivol just wants to see Benavidez wreck Canelo, bro. That's what I think. He wants to see them dudes go to war like the rest of us.